Hey, former listeners out there, man, I got the opportunity today, man, to sit down with an incredibly gifted artist that goes by the name of Xavier Shaw. And we're going to sit down with Xavier for a little while, man. He's going to tell us, man, some of the things that he does in this business that he does. You dig? So, Xavier, man, how you, man? How my brother?
I'm living well, man. I'm doing really good. Y'all caught me at a really good time in my life right now. Things are just kind of popping off in all directions. So I'm just soaking it up and trying to, keep the momentum up, man. That's the hardest part. Keeping up
Yeah, yo. So you got a lot of different things going on.
Yeah.
You thinking of saying one? I think you got a new album coming out.
It's out. It's out.
Yeah. Album's already out.
Yeah, we dropped the album in August.
So we're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that.
There's another album that's coming out. That's a part one of a part two. So.
Okay. So you also got a newborn on the way.
I do.
Okay.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
She's right around the corner, too. We're talking 6-7 weeks.
Oh, yeah. You almost home, baby.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, first time daddy.
Yeah. Man, listen, man, you doing a lot of different things, man. Life is real bright for you right now.
Juggling.
Yeah, that's what it is, man. So, and look, let's crack it off like this, man. Tell everybody where you originally from.
Okay.
And how long you actually been putting your work in, man, with the business.
Man, so I'm originally from Seattle. Okay. And we're about 20 minutes south of Seattle, a town called Auburn.
Okay.
253 stand up. And then I've been down here since 2011. So I always tell people I was raised in Seattle, but I became a man in Arizona. Right. In terms of music, everything that I've been building, music-wise, songwriting-wise, I've been doing that. I can't remember a time in my life where I wasn't trying to put some lyrics together.
Wow.
Even when I was a little kid, I was a metalhead growing up. I didn't see my first hip-hop show until I was well into my late teens. So I would write little metal songs and stuff like that. But my first hip hop lyrics I probably wrote in third grade.
Okay. So I'm curious to what was so at some point there had to be some type of inspiration. Something or somebody inspired you to actually kind of want write lyrics or whatever you do. You know what I'm saying? To be creative way that you are.
Yeah.
What was that inspiration and who was that inspiration, man, for you to be creative?
Man, the radio was a big inspiration for me growing up.
Okay.
I remember hopping in my mom's car and hearing, Ghetto Superstar, hearing the old school TLCs, the NWAs, those people really inspired me to a different type of genre of music because, like I said, I grew up a metalhead. That was always where I gravitated towards. But to be honest, man, I started making music to get kids off my back just because I was not the typical black kid. I was a metalhead growing up, so I didn't wear with that. I didn't play basketball, Kids are rude. They like to stick to those stereotypes. So I wrote a rap to get them off my back and be like, I am black. You see?
Right.
Sadly enough, it worked. They got off my back. I started being the cool rapper kid. So ego-wise, but then I really wanted to make a message with it. And I realized that I had a gift and an ability to promote a certain style of message. And it's been decades of just refining and crafting down that message.
Wow. And so listen, as a kid, being different, it's a hard job. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And I absolutely get it. You know what I'm saying? Because, especially when they didn't think you was black. They didn't think you was something.
The light skin already didn't help. You know what I mean? I was a light skin at first.
The light skin guys had a little problem back in the days. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave those comments to myself about the light skinned guys because I was a light skinned guy too. You know what I'm saying?
You feel me? Always talking to the ladies.
And I had to kind of put it right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now everybody mad at us.
Facts.
But after you kind of prove yourself in certain ways, you know what I mean? Like with me, I had to kind of throw left, right, as some of these cats, you know what I mean?
Yeah, facts.
You got to make it happen sometimes, 100%. You know what I'm saying? But then you also got to have a skill set that differentiates you from everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So you talked about the music of the 90s from what I heard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Your style. How did you develop a style? We all write our first rap and we all, we all do spit whatever we want to do at that time because we're probably emulating somebody that we seen do it.
Yeah.
But eventually, you kind of craft your own style. Or at least you think you do.
Well, I think it's a journey.
Okay.
I think it's a process, right? If you're dedicated to your craft, you start by emulating people that you love. And you start taking notes and you start grabbing this piece from this artist and this piece. Whether you are conscious of doing that or not, there's this amalgamation of love that you have within your heart about the different things that you absorb. And you start to build your own stuff. But I think if you're really good at it, you never say, this is my style.
Right.
Even artists that are right now making millions off their brand are continually evolving that style based off of the chapters of their life, So I'm in a continuance. I'm in a constant continuance. But inspiration-wise, energy metalheads all day. You know, the energy of a metal show is really what drew me into performance. Like that whole, can we cuss on here? Is that all right?
Yeah, you can go, you can go, you know what I'm saying, do your thing.
I love the energy when somebody comes on stage and they just have that presence of, I don't think you understand what the fuck is about to happen to you.
Right.
You know, and nothing is captured like that more than at a metal show.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like hip hop show is already more like, it's either, if it's a local, it's like, prove to me you good, or it's like, you already know I'm good, I'm here.
Right.
You know what I mean? Metal is like, it's almost like a cerebral experience. It's like a what am I trying to say? Not instinctual.
Right. Primal.
Thank you.
Gotta be primal.
It's more of like a primal experience when you go to a metal show because you kind of feel that adrenaline. So I loved incorporating that in my music. In the very beginning, stylistically, you would hear me do a lot of like elongated notes, a lot of like man, and like, you know, pumping up that intensity. But Lupe Fiasco and early Drake, I gotta, you know, give it up to the commando of the light scans.
Okay.
Just the combination of the artistry and, of course, the number one reason why I do music today, Andre 3000. 3 Stacks, his perspective, his rhyme schemes, and yeah, man, I mean, and the way he kind of melded his alternative blackness, if you will, to the rest of blackness, I admired that. So.
Right. No, so that was absolutely different, man, and I'm glad you kind of explained that, man. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people really don't have no idea what metal is about. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it takes a certain eclectic ear, man, to be able to kind of understand what is happening and how to kind of accentuate what you're trying to do within that metal, you know what I'm saying? Within that metal genre. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially because I have none of the same vocal ability. So to be able to try and transmute that energy to a different genre, I mean, that's been my goal.
Right. So now that you know, kind of evolved into that, man, the music part of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, was you into beats? Was you into producing? Was you engineering? I mean, you know, you let us know, you know, was there somebody you knew around the corner that did it? You know what I mean? Like,
correct.
How did you put that together?
So that was the forging of New Age Politics. That was the group that I was in that kind of gave me my foundation of music. My brother George, I grew up with him in Seattle. And yeah, we just met, man, you know, just being normal kids, fucking around, you know, slap boxing, body shots, you know, hanging out with the crew and, you know, boxing and just, you know, playing football and freestyling and, you know, scrapping up a little bit of money for the blunt so we can, you know, hit the church parking lot and freestyle. So it was a lot of that. And we just started merging passions, and he was the producer. He had all the beats in his computer. It just kind of took off from there.
Yeah. So, and that had to be, so I'm sure this is kind of before all of the software, the technology now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just the free loops on the computer.
Right. So you actually had to kind of sit down and actually put in some work, unlike, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you.
Unlike now, you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong that you're not putting in work. AI generation. Right, the AI generation. Don't get me wrong that, you know, technology is a wonderful thing, especially in our business. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But sometimes technology can take away from the imagination. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes technology can kind of make it so easy. You dig what I'm saying? That
I do.
You know that you don't, you know, and I need you to speak on that a little bit, because there's some other things that you do we're going to talk about also that other people don't know about. You know what I'm saying?
Well, there's an evolution of sound in the industry always.
Right.
You know, you think back when, like the days when Foo Fighters was creating their albums and they were doing it on the digital taping, to where if you had to clip in and take out a little vocal, you're actually taking tape and clipping that tape and putting it together, right? So that analog sound also brought a completely different experience to what we're experiencing in my generation right now, which is the digital age and recording with, you know, your Fruity Loops, your Pro Tools. And then now you have the AI generation, which is further taking the effort out of it.
Right.
And yeah, I feel like the ingenuity is respectable, but there's a certain level of craft to where, like, you have to draw your line as an artist. And I don't feel like it's up to the culture to draw the line for us. I feel like as an individual artist, it's up to us to draw the line and say, okay, at what point am I just going to keep it analog?
Right.
You know, and rely on what I'm doing. And for the sound of what I'm doing, there's a lot of artists that have left the digital world, and for the sound of that album, went back to the original styles of recording, just because it has like that little tape feel and a little crack, you know. So it's all about what you want, but you're never gonna catch me with an AI script. I'm never gonna use ChatGPT to fill in my rhyme scheme or give me an idea. You know, marketing wise, that's very different. Business wise, I feel like that's very different. But when it comes to the specific art of your craft, that should come from your brain.
Yeah, no, all day long. So what I need to ask about is, I'm sure most cats that do music, they do music from the experiences that they've had in life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I know this is kind of hard, right? So some people say, are you a rapper? Are you a lyricist? You know what I'm saying? Are you a storyteller? Are you all the above? You know what I mean? I need you to tell me, man, where you feel that you fit in that box, or if there is a box for you at all.
I'm a songwriter first.
Okay.
I love songwriting. I love the je ne sais quoi of a verse. You know, I love there's certain styles to where, like, you know, Wu-Tang shows the spectrum. Mm-hmm. You have the intricacies of Method Man, and then you have the pure swagger of ODB. Mm-hmm. And both of those are songwriting.
Right.
And I was always more fascinated with the Method Man style.
Right.
With the, you know, multi-syllabic breakdowns and the giant big concepts that are brought to it. Mm-hmm. But I later on in my career, and you kind of hear it more in like the As Above and the So Below era that I'm in right now, I kind of started studying the Drunken Master more, the ODBs, where it's like, you know, this dude is the best at lyricism, this dude is the best at rhyme schemes, but this dude is the best at presence. And how is he alone good at presence, can hold himself with the Raekwons, with the Jizzes? That's phenomenal to me. So yes. I love kind of putting that styling out and exploring that deeper, man. That's
absolutely. So now you just woke me up for real. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because when I said that you woke me up, it's because you got to be in the moment. And a lot of people are not in the moment. A lot of people, when they're entertaining or when they're doing their thing on stage, they are not in the moment. You know what I mean? They like following this preconceived script that they already have in their head. You know what I'm saying?
Or they're worried about what they're going to get out of the moment.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Instead of being in the moment.
Instead of being in the moment, man. And so I'm so glad that you talked about that, man. That you talked about the Wu-Tang. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah. Because that also tells me how wide your range is. You dig what I'm saying? So tell me some of the songs that you have on this album that just came out, man. What's some of the tracks, man, that you kind of dove into, man, that we can listen to and be like, hey, that's banging, like, you know.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, there's a lot of tracks that I'm really proud of on this album, man. My goal was to make a album of singles.
Okay.
I feel like every single one is a standalone. I feel like every single one has radio presence, depending on the genre of radio. Long Time Coming is the intro. It's one of my favorites because it depicts the idea of being in this ethereal world and being in this space within your mind, like say a meditation pre-performance, and then you actually hear it go into the physical. And then you kind of remain in that physical for the rest of the album, right? So I love how that sets the mood and sets the tone into it. There's tracks that like Missed It and Crane Style that give this smooth, braggadocious, I've been here before bravado.
Right.
And then you have things like Casting Call and Too Sick that are very much about spreading my message. Brotherhood, where we're talking about the message of what I feel is important in my life, what to prioritize, and how you gonna treat me moving forward, especially in Too Sick. So.
Right. Yeah, no doubt. Hey, I can't wait to hear it now. Now you got me amped up. Like, yo, I'm over here now. Like, I should have heard this shit before I did this interview because, listen, man, I'm a little amped just hearing about you talking about it.
Thank you.
You dig what I'm saying? Yeah. Because now you got me intrigued to where now I gotta listen to it. Especially when I hear about, you know what I'm saying, the way the different titles of your songs. So tell me a little bit about where the titles come from of the songs.
So titles, I think that kind of comes from my metalhead pop punk background because there's always been like very catchy titles. You know, sometimes in a pop punk title, there'll be like 8 words in the title. You know what I mean? So those things always kind of intrigue me because, I mean, what are the different elements of an album and the aesthetics of an album that draw you into an artist? You know, you only have so many things to work with. You have how long the track list is. You have the cover art, right? You have maybe the different features that have some little heat, but you got the track list name. So I always am wanting to create a song and then think of and just kind of next level that song title, right? So I don't know. It's kind of the same pathway as like finding the sauce for lyrics. It's like that indescribable je ne sais quoi. Like for instance, Casting Call. That's about essentially me understanding that I'm the main character of my movie. And there's certain scenarios that I got to delegate. Like there's certain women that think that they're the main person. I got to let them know they're a groupie. You know, there's certain people that think that they know what they're doing, but they're still talking loosely and you got to watch them. You know, so, but Casting Call, you know, naturally, especially in the industry and the young cats, that has different connotations that'll spark somebody's imagination. So naturally they're going to want to listen to it and then the talent and the quality is going to take over. You know, so yeah, I'm a big fan of that. Crane style is an idea that when you walk in, you have that bravado, that presence, that smoothness.
Right.
I'm gonna put my feet up on the desk like I've been here before.
Yeah.
And if you want them off, you're gonna need a crane to move them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But crane style kind of goes into a little bit more of the Wu-Tang, incorporating the martial arts into hip hop.
Into hip hop.
Yeah.
Man, you've done so much, right? And you do a lot of stuff. So we're gonna talk about a lot of things because, man, it's a pleasure actually to sit down and talk with somebody, man, because you got a lot of range of stuff that you do, man. Right?
Yeah,
absolutely, big. So
casting a lot of lines in the link.
You absolutely are, man. So, and I'm gonna kind of get to them one by one. You know what I mean? I'm gonna try not to skip over nothing. You know what I'm saying? So, next thing I want to get to, man, is just spoken word. I seen you a couple times. I seen the way you get down, man, when you were doing your spoken word thing. Where did that come from? I mean, obviously you're an artist. Yeah. Obviously you're a creator. Right, so by you being a creator and an artist, man, there's different things, different ranges that you can always tackle at any time, any given moment.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I seen where you was kind of doing some spoken word thing, man, and where did the love for that spoken word come from?
The foundation of it is my father.
Okay.
My father's a poet.
Okay.
And he was always a big businessman. So once he found out that I was really big into music and trying to make a name for myself in music, he flew me down to Michigan where he was. And it was a 2-week trip. And during that time, he set up a lot of different things. He set up a local artist to run an interview for me and like talk about my music and the different things. Mm-hmm. He set up a studio session. He had like this, I don't even know what beat system it was he had in his computer, but he made some beats. We actually built a little project tape. Okay. And he did spoken word, so he did the interludes. Okay. So at the time, my rap name was Intellect, so it was Intellect Passes Through the Sound of Touch, because Touch was his poetry name. Yes. So it was such a beautiful merging of the minds and a real memorable time for me to connect with my dad. So spoken word has always been just direct, you know, main veined into me since I was a kid. But also it's kind of like, you know, once you learn Spanish, there's connotations to other languages, right? So like people look at this as multifaceted. They're like, how are you doing all this? Well, it's because you find a foundation in one, and then you find the little things that you like about the next thing that links to it, right? And it makes it easier. You know what I mean? Like if you love performing hip hop, any person who is a hip hop performer, it's a small little pivot to spoken word. And I'm glad you spoke on that. Without me even having to ask that question, you pivot right to my next question. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because being you're a poet. Right? You're already telling a story in poetry. Right? So that's not far. Like you said, the nexus is not really far for being a lyricist in the hip hop world. Correct. Right? Because there's a difference between me, in my eyes. There's a difference between a rapper and a lyricist. Right? There's a difference between a lyricist and a storyteller. You dig what I'm saying? And when you can incorporate all three, you dig what I'm saying? And kind of deliver the message that you want to be heard. To me, that's super dope. And I'm hearing that from you all day. Like when Thank you.
You know what I mean?
And that's why I put songwriter as the foundation. Right. Because as a songwriter, you have an appreciation and a study for all of those genres. Okay. You know, like another big thing that I love is MMA. Mm-hmm. Like how most cats can talk basketball and this person went to college and was brothers with this person, this professor. I can do that with UFC all day. Right. So, and I love it because it's an amalgamation of different skill sets. Right. Once you understand judo and the discipline of judo, you can understand sambo, you can understand taekwondo a bit. You know what I mean? So, yeah. It's just finding the different doors. But yeah, I love that. You have to, you know, find what you love and the details of what you love about it, and then the different branch offs happen way easier. Absolutely. So on this album that dropped, is there slow tracks? Like anything close to an R&B track or something close to or is it straight spitting? No, it's not at all. Not at all. So, we don't get the R&B short part of that. not even close. And trust me, that is a genre that I love, that I'm digging into more. So Below is gonna have that. Okay. So Below is gonna have the down tempo, the more inner reflective music, the more motivational music, maybe more emotional. But there's a reason why I split them up. Okay. Right. So As Above is the album that I dropped in August. We don't have a drop date next for it, but I want it to be sometime in 2026 when I drop So Below. So As Above is the idea of my observation of my outside influences. Right. Right. So it's braggadocious. It's in your face. It's fuck out mine. Yeah. If that's how I'm feeling. Yeah. And so it's that energy literally the entire time through. It's 10 tracks. It's a party. It's over like, I like to call it it's like a firework finale. Okay. It's 10 tracks, but from cover to cover, it's 29 minutes. Okay. So. Okay. You know, it's fast, it's in your face, but the content it's rich.
Acting, man. How did you hop into acting? Like, I think you do a little acting too.
I do.
Oh, good, my God. You know what I'm saying? So
Actually,
explain to us, man, how the acting part. Well, we all know that it's always an evolution, the different things that you're doing in your creative world. You dig what I'm saying?
For sure.
So tell me a little bit about the acting thing and some of the things that you've done and some of the parts that you held and the way that you had to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so the challenges, that's the word. I've kind of lost my own thought.
The challenges.
The challenges that it takes sometimes to actually do some of the things that you do in the acting world.
Yeah, I'm just getting my feet wet in the acting world. It's something that I've always wanted to do. I actually got into acting through runway modeling, which is another section
it's a whole
we can talk about.
Right,
yeah.
right.
So, and I'm a big fan of Tony Robbins, and one of the big things that he talks about is recognize the pattern, utilize the pattern, create the pattern. Mm-hmm. And that's how I found and branched into every single thing that I'm doing right now.
Right.
And it makes it simple. It makes it there's no hard reaches, really no major work to be done. So I was in Runway, and that comes with a separate story we'll talk about. Yep. I was in the line, and one of the guys that was there, we started talking about the roles of men and women and the roles of the modern man and how we don't have to balance between success and a family. And he liked my ideas, so he put me in this group chat. And this group chat was with a bunch of different black men from different cultures talking about the roles of men, the roles of black men, how can we uplift, you know, the different things that we're doing together, because it seemed like everybody in that group was doing something.
Right.
And then we wanted to get out the group chat.
Okay.
Right. So we went to, started having these seasonal retreats. So when you're there, you start bonding with the people there, and 2 people there are, well, I think 4 now in Brotherhood, which is what this grew into, is something called the Brotherhood Haven.
Okay.
They're script writers.
Okay.
So script writers, actors, and it was just about building relationships with them and then them writing me into the scripts. So right now, in terms of like actual things on the table, I have a voice acting script where I'm the main villain in this upcoming anime called Yahan's Greatest. And that's done by a cat named AP Butta out here.
Okay.
Look up AP Butta, man. He's one of the most multi-talented people in Arizona, period.
Okay.
And then his brother, C. our brother, he also has this movie series called Bloodline, which just recently got on Tubi.
Okay.
And I am a lead extra in Bloodline. I'll be doing a final scene. I'm breaking into C-Dot's house and we're doing like a little fight scene.
Right.
He actually breaks my neck. I'm very excited about that. I always told people, man, I don't want to be the big action guy. I don't care about being the Keanu Reeves or the Brad Pitt. Kick me through a window. That's way more fascinating. You know what I'm saying? That's way more fascinating.
Watch how I land.
Watch how I land. I'm going to tuck the chin. We're going to do this right. Minimal takes. You know what I'm saying? Come on now.
So we got affiliation with the cats in Bloodline.
Cool.
What was it, Krista Bowles?
Yep.
Yeah, my cousin.
Right, so Krista Bowles is involved, you know what I mean? And we actually had some of the cats from Bloodline up here, man. We actually did interviews with them. We've kind of gone to a couple of
great people.
Right, we've kind of gone to a couple of their events and their showcases and all that. So yeah, man, those cats are really, really serious, and I'm glad to see that those brothers are progressing. Not just 1 or 2 of them, but seems to me that they all are.
It's infectious.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's the key to brotherhood. Men, especially black men out there, if you haven't found yourself a group, whether that's your local church, whether that's you coming together at the Y and you getting a group of buddies, get active and get intentional with one another. There is nothing better than merging mind, merging energies. These guys have helped plant the seeds of my confidence that allows me to carry forth and do all the different things that I'm doing right now.
Absolutely. So Runway was a particular show, or this was something that you did?
It's something that I still do.
Okay.
Yeah, it's something that I still do. I actually have a Runway show this coming Saturday, November 22nd. It's the Phoenix Man show at Pemberton.
How you like that?
I love it, man. I love it.
How you like that? Get fly and put things on.
It's cool, man. I love it.
Down the place. You know what I mean? Like, you know, tell us, man, what excites you most when you're doing that? Is it just the clothes or the style, or like you said, being braggadocious? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Coming out and just sticking your chest out and saying, "Yo, I'm here. Watch me. This is what I do." I mean, you tell me, man.
I love the dichotomy of it. My favorite thing is the dichotomy, because in order to be good at Runway, you have to focus on yourself, right? You got to make sure that your sleep is good, your mood is good. No one's going to like you if you're an asshole. You know, you're not going to get auditions, right? So you got to make sure your hair is good, your teeth are good. You know, everything is focused on you. You're in the gym, you're working out, right? But the culmination of this event, if you make it about you, you will never get another job in your life. Right? You do all these things to make you the center of attention, and it's the only art form where when it's finally there, when the lights are on, it's not about you. It's about the designer. And I love the idea of building myself up to be a part of the source. That feeling is so cool, because everything else that I do, I'm spotlight. It's on me. I'm here. I have to make the connection. I have to prove to people that I'm the one. That I'm the man. And when it comes to here, not at all. I'm building the best canvas possible for them. And that service is my favorite thing about Runway. It's probably the reason why, I mean, out of everything that I do, you'll see me on a little Roto-Rooter scooter going down the runway. Like, I'm going to be an old man rocking somebody's fit, because I think that is such a cool idea.
So I want to also jump back a little bit, man, because you kind of brought it up, man, about being part of a group. You know what I mean? Being part of an alliance. You know what I'm saying? Where a bunch of brothers get together, man, and y'all talk about different things, man. You're talking about being better men. You dig what I'm saying? I mean, I need you to talk a little bit more about that, man, about being better men, because a lot of us have no idea, man, of what that's all about. Or at least they think they do.
Correct.
But they absolutely don't. I need you to speak on that.
You know, I grew up without my original father.
Okay.
That's a weird way of putting it, but y'all know what I'm saying. The OG daddy, right? The sperm donor, he was there. Which, by the way, shouts out to Daniel Shaw. He's a phenomenal father. He just came down recently for a show that I had, but he's been there. He's been prevalent throughout my life, but he wasn't there in the formidable, like, raising years, and that's through a stickler of other things that, you know, cue in all the other, you know, black background divided family stories, right? But he wasn't there, so I was raised by my stepdad my whole life, and he was a good man. You know, he was a hard worker, and he really showed me my first connection to a man, to what strength is and what sacrifice was, which that led me into trying to seek it within my brothers. So in Seattle, I actually had a brotherhood before this brotherhood, which is crazy. It was 9 members of a brotherhood that I kind of grew up with in high school, and we just kind of always vowed to look after each other. But after a while, it dissipated. You know, we go in different directions. We take different oaths to different commitments, and, you know, it spreads us out. It spreads us thin, you know? So it was extremely important to me to find a conglomerate of people that were headed in the same direction that I was, that was ambitious, that was optimistic, that was God first. And it really does pull the best traits out of you as a man. Right? Because you want to be there for them. You want to show up. You want to provide. You know, if it's a potluck, you come in with the best dish. You know, if it's a discussion, you come in with the best points. If it's a verse, you come in with the most heater bars, period. Just because you want to impress them, because you're constantly being challenged by the people in your room. Right? So if you're not the best at anything, right? If you are not the best person in that room, you're probably in the right room. You probably can
because
learn.
It's also a part of steel sharpening steel. You dig what I'm saying? And I kind of look at that, and I try to explain that to people all the time. You know what I mean? At least a lot of people that I be around. You know what I mean? Like, if you in the room where you kind of the best in that room, then that's really not a room that you really should be in. Because if you want to be a person that grow and be better than the person that you are before you step in that room.
And I guarantee you, if you're the best person, the most important person in that room, and you've been in there for a while, you're not there. Your ego is. You don't have presence in that room. You're not listening to the people there in the morning room. Why would you listen to them? You know everything more than everybody there. You're not soaking up game. You ain't absorbing. You ain't being present. Your ego is there for the handshakes and gold stars. So, like, you ain't even there no more.
Yo, this is what's up, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, it's been very few times, man, where I get a brother to come sit down in the room, man, where we actually can chop it, baby. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm talking about right now. You know what I'm saying? So, there's one thing that you didn't say to me, right, about your artistry, right? About who you are. You just dropped the album. What's your moniker? What's your, you know what I mean? What's your rap moniker? What's your music moniker? Do you go by Xavier Shaw?
Xavier Shaw.
Whoa.
Xavier Shaw. So I used to go by Intellect.
Okay.
In a group named New Age Politics.
Because that's what I was trying to get back to. I thought you were still going by Intellect. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't want to have us looking crazy and shit. Right.
Now, there was different chapters in my life where I focused on different parts of my name, right? Growing up with family and school and stuff like that, Christian was Christian.
Right.
Right, that's my first name.
Okay.
And then there was times where I was in sports, you know, football, track. I did a lot of sales growing up in like my 20s and stuff like that. That's where I was Shaw.
Right. Okay.
Right. Hey, Shaw, go run point. Hey, Shaw, go talk to this person, right?
Yeah.
And then I just wanted to take the chapter and understand, this is my chapter into my artistry. This is where I fully feel like I've cocooned out.
Right.
And I feel comfortable going by Xavier. And then, on the other side of that, there was just a couple things that allowed me, like, I was projecting a lot.
Okay.
Right? Why would I want you to perceive me as intelligent before you have a conversation with me? It's because I had a really big want for you to think I was smart.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And everything and all of my lyrics were all $5 syllables, and you read it while you sipping Chianti in a nice suit. And as I got older, I started seeing incredible intelligence in the simplest settings.
Yes, sir.
Incredible intelligence wrapped in the most simplest packages, to where they didn't give a fuck if you thought they were intelligent. If you didn't get the game on the crazy old man on the side of the street, that's on you.
That's on you.
But he was giving game.
Right.
And I got fascinated with that.
Right. Right, because it's up to you to be perceptive enough to be able to see what the game is.
Yes.
You think what I'm saying? And a lot of people miss that. You know what I mean? A lot of people really don't sit down. They really don't pay. They're not very observant is what the word I
They're not very observant.
They're not very observant. You know what I'm saying? They don't understand, man. Sometimes it's like you just said, sometimes it's the littlest things, man, that can teach you the most. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
And a lot of people really miss that part.
And I had to chill. I had to realize that, like, there was actually a lot of wisdom in the house parties that was there. I was just seeing it through certain goggles. There was a lot of wisdom through those simple conversations with the gas station attendants and the waiters and the waitresses.
Right.
Right. There's a lot to be gained in those exchanges. And that's kind of where you hear As Above. As Above is a lot of fun. It's a lot of braggadocious. I'm talking a lot of shit. But if you take my lyrics and you put it down, I'm eating. I'm eating. The whole 16 is internal rhyme schemes and metaphors and double entendres and callbacks to the first part of the verse. Like, it's chock full. It's chock full. I leave nothing on the plate.
Yeah, that's what it is. So one of the things I didn't ask you about, because I know a couple people, one or two of them from Seattle.
Yeah.
Like, how did that shape who you are? Because I think your early years was in Seattle, wasn't it? Yeah. So how did that? Because don't get me wrong, there's a lot of dope creators and a lot of dope things that come out of in Seattle. I know that for a fact.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, how do you feel like that shaped you in a way to make you the person that you are right now?
I wasted it. I wasted it. I wasted it. I had small town syndrome so bad. All I saw was the potential that was there that was not escaping. I wasn't seeing the doors and the avenues that were already there presented. I was trying to sprint away from Seattle.
Okay.
I felt like I had to get out of this small town. I always said, you got to leave your area because they always see you for when you were stupid. No matter how many gains or evolutions you make as a person, they see you at the level that they're comfortable with.
Right.
And I still believe that to an extent to this day.
Right.
But I definitely underutilized it. And a lot of my motivation from my hometown was my people, my brotherhood, my love of family that kind of built the backbone of my moral guidance. And you'll hear that a lot in my music.
Yep.
Outside of that, man, my blinders were on.
Yeah.
And I know that there was a lot of beauty in Seattle that I could have soaked up that I didn't utilize properly.
Wow.
Shouts out to the 253-206, man. There's still a chapter of my life where I'm going to go back and I'm going to learn a lot from my city.
Right. So I was going to ask you about that, because I was going to ask you, have you had an opportunity to go back? Have you had an opportunity, man, to just kind of go back and just kind of express to some of the people some of the things that was there before you left that I missed some of this, man, and
a little bit, but not enough.
Okay.
There's everybody kind of grew up, moved away, kind of started doing their own thing. There's not as much of a amalgamation, like a conglomerate as there was when I was there the last. But that doesn't mean that I can't soak it up when I get back there. That doesn't mean that I can't find new chapters or find new people from that city that I still vibe with, just because that's my hometown. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there needs to be more Seattle in the chapters of my life coming up for sure.
Okay.
But not as much as I want to. I need to get back and travel more.
So you've spoken a lot of different things, man. You know what I mean? And we're gonna wrap this up in a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But one of the things that I gather from you as what you're big on is God and family.
100%.
And I want you to talk a little bit about that, man, because This ain't an interview with me. This is your interview, baby. You know what I'm saying? And I need you to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Because I got my own ways about how I feel about family, because family for me is also big, and so is God. Because a lot of different things that I wouldn't be able to do today wouldn't be but for the grace of God, that I wouldn't be able to sit here and tell these stories or be on the platform or do the things that I do, man. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Because I was guided in a particular way, and man can't guide me in that way.
Facts.
You heard?
That's
so
facts.
I need you to tell me.
Including myself.
Right, you know
I can't guide me in that way.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So when I started getting into my mid-20s, I started studying things called agreements, right? And everybody has agreements, a set of subconscious agreements that you have, that you've built based off of survival situations, based off of just natural people that you look up to, teachers, preachers, everybody that has given you signals. You learn from them, and you get these agreements in your body that says, okay, you know, because I'm from New York, if somebody looks at me wrong for this certain amount of time, I got to get my dangers up.
Right.
I got to get my adrenaline up, because if I don't, I could get stomped out.
Right.
Somebody in Connecticut doesn't have that same agreement.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So once I started getting into my agreements and looking at them and looking at what was needed and what was not, I realized a lot of my agreements were attached into music. How I perceive my success as a man, how I perceive my contributor in society, it was all pointed towards music. And I think because of that, I was pointed completely away from God, because I was focused solely on myself. Right? And that just, it left a bad feeling in the pit of my stomach. And also, the more I focused on that, the less things started happening for my music. So I took a step back. At this time, I was still building the foundation with Xavier and the kids, Taj and Delaney. So I was like, I got a little bit of money for a music video. Let me stop, put that towards the kids. So for an example, I put them in camp. I put Delaney in a fashion camp. Delaney went. That's how I met the Garment League. That's how I got into Runway.
Okay.
Right? So the more that I put myself in the back shelf and focus on the gratitude of my life, the more things started happening for me. And then I realized that that's the blueprint of what God says to follow.
Absolutely.
Is to have gratitude in your life and to speak about prayer as if it's already happened, which is the exact same thing as manifestation.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of bridges that are connected that I didn't realize were connected. So once they started connecting in my life, I realized that it doesn't like I don't have to pick one or the other.
Right.
Because, and what dictates that is quality. If I have a quality so immense, if I have a presentation so immense, so undeniable, then I don't have to worry about the pace in which I do these things to get my success. Everybody thinks they got to sprint forward and forget everything else and forget your time and forget your peace and the time you hang out with your family and keep going and keep running and keep doing these things. Sure, that's going to get you there. But if you have undeniable quality,
Yes, sir.
they're going to wait for you.
Yes, sir.
You can either speed up to the restaurant or you could drive in a Cadillac, but if you're important enough, they'll wait for you.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of why family and God is first in my life, because it's given me the strength and presence and the quality to actually have every chapter of my life right here. I don't really have to juggle. They all just flow, and I touch it when I'm ready. You know?
That's what's up, man. You know what I'm saying? So what's up next, man? What we doing next? What's the next step? What's the next thing?
The next step is November 22nd. We have the Phoenix Man Runway show. That's House of Patterns. Tracy Thomas puts on a phenomenal event at Pemberton in downtown Phoenix. We're really trying to turn Phoenix into the next New York when it comes to fashion, and we're growing really quickly with it, man. House of Patterns got some phenomenal stuff. February 7th, we have Poetry is Life. I'm extremely excited about that. Tarvis putting some phenomenal things together down at the John Paul Theater, Phoenix College. I play Montezuma. I get to wear a headdress.
Yes,
Come
sir.
on now. I'm very excited about that. I've been working on my Montezuma voice. Catch me in the gym doing dumbbell presses. I'm getting ready to play Montezuma, man. I'm ready for that. That's February 12th. So Below is an album. We're going to be dropping that towards the end of 2026. We're going to be building up some of that. Some singles are going to be coming out as well. And just stay on the lookout. You know, stay out for the lookout of part 2 of Bloodline. That's probably also going to be on Tubi. Yahan's Greatest, which is an anime that I don't have a drop date for, but that's also going to be out, have my presence on it. So, you know, a lot of things keeping going. Oh, and the number one thing, the absolute single most important thing in my life, Rocky Griselda is coming. She's on her way. As January 7th is the due date, but my lady's had both her kids 3 weeks early.
Okay.
So it could be like 6-7 weeks. It's right here. She's
right
32
here.
weeks.
Yeah.
So, you know, taking the month of paternity leave is going to be probably the most exciting thing I've ever done in my life, man.
Okay, that's what it is. Hey, but look, there's a question I got to ask you before you go, because you've done so much. God damn, you've done a lot. Boy, it's hard to kind of single this down and box this up, baby. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If you had an opportunity to perform with an artist, dead or alive, past or present, who would that artist be and why?
Ooh, Little Richard.
Little Richard.
I would absolutely love to perform with Little Richard.
Well, I think we had a Little Richard answer one time. Well, didn't we have a Little Richard answer one time? But one time and one time only was the Little Richard. Now we got it twice.
Little Richard. Little Richard. Because you look at the people that you idolize, and then you look at the people that they idolize.
Okay.
And then those people idolize Little Richard.
Okay.
You know?
No, I do know.
It's the foundation.
Absolutely,
you know?
I understand that.
He had Jimi Hendrix in his band.
Yep.
He had Prince in his band. He's the reason why Michael Jackson took to the stage. Michael was watching Little Richard as a kid on the TV, mesmer. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
If you can date it back, you know.
Yes.
Like, as a former bloodsucker, I would like to hang out with Dracula. I would personally like to hang out with the original.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, no, Little Richard, I can't even imagine the game, the presence, and the wisdom that you would soak in from just not even talk, just being around him.
Just being around.
Have to talk to him.
And a lot of people didn't even know that. So when you said Little Richard, I understood it 100%. Right off the crack.
Yeah.
Because I understood why. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not your reasons why.
Right.
But I understood, man, Little Richard was an originator for a lot of different things that a lot of people didn't know about. You know what I'm saying?
Style
and just
day.
right, and had courage enough at that time, in that era, to be himself. You think what I'm saying? So that speaks volumes. That speaks volumes, man, about who Little Richard was and why people wanted to emulate who he really was. You know what I'm saying?
And his vision of the people that he kept in his company was literally the archetypes for the rest of the industry.
Yes, sir.
For generations to come.
Boy, listen. Y'all heard it first right here on Media Made Magazine, baby. Media Made Radio. You know what I'm saying? So let me slow this down a little bit. We need you to tap in with us for MediaMadeMagazine.com. We need you to come to MediaMadeMusic.com. And if you want to see this several times a day, you can always look this up on MediaMadeTV.com. I'm sitting here, man, with my man Xavier Shaw. This was incredibly gifted conversation that my man has sat with us and talked about. But let me just say this before you go, man. Listen, may you be blessed in all the things that you do every day, and may you prosper in each and everything that you do, each and every day that you do, my brother. You heard?
Thank you.
Hey, man, for all you listeners out there, man, y'all heard it first. Once again, Media Made Magazine, and I'm your man, the Season J. Sangria in the building, man. We tapping out right now, baby. Peace.